This is today's business leaders. Actionable advice from real-world professionals. And now here's your host, Gabe Arnold.
All right, so I'm super excited today. We have Jeff J. Hunter on the show. We're going to talk about tech and marketing and wearing no pants and all sorts of cool entrepreneurial things. But before we get into all that, let's start with where I always start. When did you first realize you were an entrepreneur, Jeff?
I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit since I was a kid because my parents owned a computer store, and as a kid you don't really understand what entrepreneurialism is. You just like to get stuff, and
right.
For me, working at my dad's store, him and his partner Jim had a computer store, and it was fun. I remember using DOS 6.32, and I remember it was a banned pirated version, it was, because you could do all this stuff with it. It's so funny, and I remember programming my first video game in Microsoft QBasic. Matter of fact, a story I don't tell very often. In junior high, there was a computer lab. Actually, it was in high school. It was my freshman year in high school. And I remember specifically because I had to do cleanup after school for quite some time because when I got caught doing this. But I've always been intrigued with security. That's been for me something very fun and exciting. The abilities of using exploits and finding vulnerabilities in technology.
Yeah.
And I found really quickly, this is before the days of, I think it was when we were using Windows 98 SE or something like that. It could have been even earlier than that. It might have been 3.1 in a computer lab. And there was a net log on, and you type in a username and a password, then it would log you into Windows.
Yeah.
Well, it was literally a black screen with white text and a little thing that was blinking okay, enter your text in. And I actually created a program. It was a super small script. I mean, it was less than less than maybe 100 lines. All it did was it replicated that net logon. It said, type in your username, type in your password. And then what it did was it saved that to a text file called config.something, like config.sys.cfg or something on the computer, something inconspicuous. And after it saved your username and password, it would launch the real version of it. So people would think, oh, I just must have typed my password in wrong. Invalid password. So I would go around with my little floppy disk, all the computers in the lab, and I'd install that. And then I would basically go around when no one was looking, and I'd pull all the usernames and passwords. And I'd draw obscenities. I'd draw, big penis or something like that. I was a kid, right? When somebody logs in, or a My Little Pony picture or something. I don't know what to say. I enjoyed it. And
That's awesome.
My lab teacher, he didn't. He found out one day because he caught me installing on a computer, and he's like, what the heck? And he grabbed it, and then he had realized too that I had actually done the same thing to him. So the funniest part was he actually asked me to stay after class. He said, you stay after class today. And first off, he told me it was genius. And second off, he told me that he's not going to tell anybody, but every day after school for the last 2 weeks of school, he found out the last 2 wecs of school, I had to come in and clean his lab.
Nice. That's
the last
fair.
2 weeks of my freshman year in high school was cleaning his lab. So basically it was at that point when I said, man, I really love technology. I love doing new things. I've always worked in IT. I became an IT coordinator for a school district when I was in my mid-20s. Always worked in computers. After that, I got recruited to work at Philips Electronics in their healthcare division. I was an IT project manager for them, working in the hospitals. That was really fun.
Nice.
And then all that while, I started realizing that I was doing way too much myself. And at the time, I didn't even know what a virtual assistant was.
Yeah.
I was managing remote teams. So I was used to remote teams in USA, but I couldn't afford anyone. I couldn't afford anyone in America to do my simple stuff like Gantt charts as a project manager. Gantt charts are huge. All my expense reporting, mileage reporting, all the stuff that was taking my time away from actually managing projects. I hired my very first person from somewhere from the Middle East. He said he was a certified project manager. I didn't believe it because I was only paying him $5 an hour. That was back when Fiverr actually was still $5.
Way back.
Yeah, way back before Upwork and all that.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that he was able to do all my stuff, all my really heavy lifting that it didn't really require my talent. It just required knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
And at that point in time, I was able to basically say, oh my God, this part of my life I never have to do again. I get a new project. I never have to do a Gantt chart. I just tell him what needs to be done, and he puts it all in Microsoft Project and does it all with the timelines and the dependencies and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God.
Amazing.
I became the top 5 project manager at my company within 12 months.
Nice.
And I thought I'm onto something. So I started showing other people how to do it. I found out really quickly that they all sucked at managing virtual teams in different countries, cultural differences, just things like that. Then I started finding out really quickly about the benefits of hiring in the Philippines. Now I have a team, almost 50 all around the world, in several different countries, including America. And I have a physical office in the Philippines. It's actually not officially an office. It's a co-working space for legal reasons. And I've learned really quickly that that entrepreneurs need help. So I built VAstaffer.com, and VA Staffer, Virtual Assistant Staffer, is basically a service that you can come in, you can use my team of virtual assistants to do your evil biddings. I see a few of my clients on here actually right now. Tim Wines, what's up? Shout out to you. Sylvania, what's up, man? So yeah, I mean, basically it's a great option because, when you hire virtual assistants, most services out there, or if you hire directly, you have to hire someone full-time. If you don't hire a VA full-time, what happens is you're not their priority. Like they have a job and then they're working for you, right, on the side. So I wouldn't recommend hiring someone part-time, by the way. So you either have to go all out and get a dedicated VA, and you're stuck with the talents that they have, or you use a service like mine, VA Staffer, which is what, by the way, if you ever read the 4-Hour Workweek, that's what he recommends, is getting a team. That way you can actually, get stuff done. You can have multiple team at your disposal and use them on an hourly basis. So I literally took everything that was in practice with the biggest. I'm actually in Chris Ducker's mastermind. I love Chris Ducker, by the way.
Nice.
I feel it's a really tight community. Matter of fact, not too long ago, I just got a phone call from David Michaels. Shout out to David Michaels. He owns 123 Employee, which is another outsourcing agency. They pair you up with dedicated VAs. Nice. And what's funny about that is people thought me and him were competitors and stuff like that. I'm like, absolutely not, because he has a different model than mine. Yeah. He called me a couple months ago. He recruited me to come out to Puerto Rico as a neighbor. They're recruiting on their neighborhood, man. Him, John Lee Dumas. Nice. So we're all homies in this industry because, first off, there's friggin' millions and millions of entrepreneurs that need help. Yeah. So why combat with people when everyone needs it, Totally. So anyway, that was lengthy, but that's my entrepreneurial journey. That's how, and by the way, I started building out my team and realizing that it was doing really well. And I got in trouble at work because they said I was distracted.
Doing it the right way.
Yeah. Because you can't build. What the number one threat to a corporation is? Employees that have their own brand. Yeah, because you're dangerous.
Employees that don't play in the 9-to-5 system.
That's right. And considering what you said earlier, guys, and I'm just going to throw it out there, he's right. This is it. The underwear entrepreneur strikes again. I'm in my zebra underwear. Shout out to my sponsors, Sock and Stack. Sock and Stack. Hey, what if I told you I'm literally a sponsored underwear model? No joke.
That is hilarious, man.
They saw that there was a picture that went quasi-viral. I don't like to say viral because that's like millions, but I had hundreds and hundreds of likes and comments and stuff. I posted a picture of me. I said I was wearing a sport coat and I had my underwear on underneath, and I said I just got done recording like 9 videos for my training program, and shot from the waist up just like this, right? Yeah. And then I said LOL, And then everyone was like, oh my God, it got shared and commented and liked. And then one of the people reached out to me. He's actually the owner, a partner of this company. And he says, dude, like, I'd love to send you some of our friggin' underwear, dude. If you're going to be working in your underwear, just, once in a while, you know what I'm saying? Just send us a shout out. So there's your shout out, Sock and Sack.
That's amazing, man. And a testament to the more authentic you are, the more things work. So
boom. Yeah, that's actually one of the things I was doing right here before you and I spoke. I was going over some training here about how using authentic, sharing life stories and stuff, like, the stuff that really does well, if people are always like, oh my God, Jeff, I see you everywhere on social media. And how do you do all this? It's like, I'm just sharing the stories that people can relate to, man. We all have stories of failure, defeat, victory every single day. Like, share those stories, Right. And I've tested it. People talk about, like, this is great. Posting negative things isn't great. This and that. I've tested with negative. I've tested with positive. It doesn't matter. People just like genuine, authentic, being real. And if you can master just yourself, don't worry about anyone else. Just master yourself. And that's why I also would say it's super important to meet up with a guy like Gabe Arnold. Tell your story better than you. For me, that was a challenge for me, was just learning how to make my stories relate to people.
Right.
Man, I want to talk to you about that afterwards, maybe.
Yeah, we will. We're definitely going to do it. I think something key that kind of ties into where we're going, and as everybody knows, there is no script, no plan. We have no idea what's going to happen on these shows. In case anybody didn't realize that already, I'm going to put it out there. So I just kind of like to follow where it goes. So one thing that you said in the beginning that really ties into this too, and I think it's really key, because everybody wants to say, I have a team of X, whatever that X is for you. Like, I think we have similar size teams, which is cool. And my goal is, like, in 2 years, we'll have 200, 250. Like, we're growing like crazy. It's fun. Like, I have the best team in the world, like you do too. I mean, I'm sure
hashtag best team ever.
Yeah, period. But the only way that I got there is two things that I think are key. And I'd like to hear your thoughts about it, because I think in that end, you've taken a similar path. I didn't go to college. I've only had 2 real jobs for 9 months each, so I'm totally unemployable. However, we both kind of ended up taking the same path, I think. Before, when I was trying to build teams and get it right, I was faking it to my team. I was faking it on social media. I was faking it when I was writing. And the second you're fake, people are like, bullshit, 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 bye.
So true.
And they're gone. And
so
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're a team member, quote unquote, or some contractor or freelancer, or if there's somebody in your quote unquote following, because all that is fake too. When you're fake, you attract fake. So I didn't totally understand this, but a couple of years ago, but I did realize that if I want to have a great team, great product, great clients, I have to become a great person. Like, I have to invest in myself to become a better leader and a better manager, which I think I've always had leadership characteristics and some talent. But one thing I was never good at, or never even imagined, I would say what I'm about to say in a minute, that, I love managing people. But 2 years ago, I thought all people were assholes, and so all people were assholes to me. But the more that I've changed that, maybe farther than 2 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, but the more that I've changed that and realized that people are all there is, you and I love tech, we love VR, whatever, but all of that doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter in the big spectrum of serving and helping your team grow, and really taking care of them is step one. And then in order to do that well, you need to be truly authentic. And when you marry those two together, then your personal brand, your company, life just blows up. Like, everything is awesome immediately as soon as you figure it out.
I just heard the Lego song right now.
What?
Everything is awesome.
Right.
When you're part of the team, because it's totally true.
Yeah.
Like, that was one of the things that actually bothered me about that movie. I'm like, dude, that's actually true. Obviously in their context, they were using it differently, but I think you really hit something on the head. Yeah. I mean, as a business owner, you can only go so far in your business by yourself. And, and this is something that I say quite often, and it really sometimes intimidates people. It should be a challenge. It should be a challenge for yourself, because guess what? You're not going to believe this, but I was a huge introvert my entire life. Okay. And you too? Okay.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
isn't it funny how you've had to learn to step out of that comfort zone? Like, I just did my first big speaking gig at Dan Henry's AdCon Live this year, and maybe
Nice.
there were 350 or so agency owners there. And I went up there and I literally wanted to poop my pants before. But I went up there, and you know what? Maybe it made it easier because I knew, most of the people in the room, or at least they knew me. So they were already like adamant about what I was going to talk about. But,
Right.
guys, the truth is you have to be genuine, and you have to have real value and care for people, not just your team, but for your clients, and not just for your clients, but for your team. No, like for me personally, I put my team even above my clients, because if I put my team here, they're going to take care of my clients because they want to help me, right?
Yeah.
They're involved and they want to truly help me, and they want to see the growth of the company. And that's what's really important. I've fired clients before I've fired my team. I've totally done that.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, I've had to fire some team members over the years too. But the truth is, like, I genuinely want to give as much value as possible. And that's one of the things that really motivates me about my team in the Philippines and other places. I'd love to tell you a story if you have time for
Absolutely.
Zubair. Zubair, who I have a meeting with today, hopefully I don't get too emotional with this. But Zubair contacted me on LinkedIn after reading a story that I wrote about Redora. Redora is one of the very first people that I ever hired. She's been working with me for, 4 years or so. And she's now my operations manager. But you wouldn't believe this. The first time that I ever met her, I literally couldn't even hold my composure. I thought she was so bad. She sent me this email with a resume, or CV as they call them in the Philippines. And it took me a second to figure out the culture, because in the Philippines, and this is actually the same in a lot of places in the world, but in the Philippines, when they send you a resume or a CV, it's going to have their name, their parents' names, their Christianity or Catholic or whatever they are, their birthday, how much they weigh, their height. It's just like, what is this? It looks like a boxer's profile, like weighing in at, a 65-inch reach. It's like, what the heck? But I saw on her resume, she listed that she had gone to school for technology, didn't finish, that she never had a job in her life. And here she is coming to me wanting a job, right?
Wow.
Hey, Rudy, what's going on? See right there, Rudy says, I saw you at AdCon and you did an awesome job. It was packed with value. See, it's all
Rudy,
about that value, right?
That's right. And Rudy is awesome, by the way. Everybody needs to follow him.
Thanks, Rudy. But what's really interesting about Redora's story is that she literally got on a Skype call with me because she just kept pestering me. She was so persistent, just email after email, and messaged me and, added me on Skype and this and that. And like, I want to interview, I want to get on this. And come to find out, she didn't even know how. She didn't have a microphone set up. We got on Skype. She couldn't figure it out. And it was the worst interview I've ever done in my life.
Wow.
It was bad. So obviously I didn't hire her. But then every single day she kept messaging me back like, hey, I think I figured it out. Can we do it again? And actually after the third or fourth day of getting emails from her consistently, I said, okay, fine.
Persistence.
Yeah. So I got on another interview with her, and it was the second worst interview of my life. It was scratchy voice, couldn't understand it. The English was absolutely atrocious. And by the way, I love Redora, not capping. I'm just telling you the way it is. She'll say the same thing. It was horrible. The fact that her and I are working together right now is just, it doesn't seem possible. But you know what? She told me, she says, sir, because I told her, I said, no, it's not going to work. Look, you don't have any job experience, and do one of those and then come back to me. And she told me, she says, I can't. She says, I can't because I just got married. I had a kid. My husband is a seafarer, so he's literally working on a ship like most of the year. I have a newborn baby and can't go back to school, obviously, can't go get a job. I have to work from home. It's the only way. And she's like, to prove my value to you, I'm willing to work for you for free as long as it takes. And by the way, that's not going to take long. She was super confident.
Wow.
And I was like, So I gave her list of vendors that are going to an event. And I said, I'd love to have this completed with the CEOs and vice presidents of this company, of these companies that are on this vendor list. And I just want, first name, last name, email address. Well, 40 hours later, she sends me a list of like 300 contacts, first name, last name, email address, friggin' LinkedIn account, Twitter, like everything you could possibly imagine about these people. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even think she slept. I think she was just that determined. I don't even know how you can do that.
That's awesome.
I hired her instantly and I started paying her.
Yeah.
But I posted that story on LinkedIn, and Zubair, he contacted me and he said, hey, I just read that story about Redora, and like, man, if you took your chances on her, like, baby, like, I've got so much to offer. I'm like, really? And he sends his email saying he's a technical support at Uber. He works in the back end. He's doing a lot of support, like if the drivers have payment issues and stuff like that. His English is really great. I was really impressed. And I said, you know what? I'll give you an interview. I didn't even realize the guy's from Pakistan. I'm like, I don't even know anything about Pakistan. I don't know anything about the culture. All I know is it's on like the USA ban list for terrorists. So I don't know anything about the culture. And we had a call on Skype, and I was blown away. He spoke better English than most of the people on my team now.
And you do? No, just kidding.
Oh, I mean, my English isn't that great, but that's not saying much. But no joke, I was so impressed, and I found out he was making $1.68 an hour. $1.68.
That's a crime.
Man, right? Like, and I found out that he was literally making just enough to pay his rent and food and, basically eat, because he had moved 6.5 hours from his little town all the way to Lahore, which is the big, it's the big like BPO town in Pakistan. And he left everything, and he was homesick and stuff. And I remember hiring him and offering obviously more than what he's making there.
Yeah.
And it's a life-changing amount. It allows him to go back home and do what he's doing. And here's the craziest part, guys. Literally on Saturday, after I hired him, on Saturday, he messages me and he says, Jeff, having a hard time connecting with the team. I can't, do you know what their schedule is today? And I'm like, dude, it's Saturday. We don't work on Saturdays. He's like, what? He has worked his entire life 6 days a week. 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know what to do with himself, right?
Yeah.
So he's coming online ready for work. And he's just like instantly like, oh my gosh, not only do I get to earn more, but now I get to be at home and I only have to work 5 days a week. Like, what the heck, right?
Yeah.
Like,
that's awesome.
This is what's beautiful. Like, we can give people in a virtual world the ability to work from home, to do it, to wear their underwear if they want, and do incredible things. I'm so sorry. Castle says I made her cry.
Kusal, it's okay. Jeff's a good guy.
But he literally didn't even know what to do with himself. Like, he got to move back home. He's with his family. He's happier than he's ever been. He has a sense of purpose. Him and I have a meeting today, and guess what? I challenged him. He's turning into an amazing copywriter.
That's awesome.
He's actually written quite a few posts for me. His English is incredible. I barely have to do any edits to it. He's learning so much. It's just unbelievable, and I feel like I have the opportunity to do so much. And look, guys, I have nothing wrong with hiring Americans. I have Americans, but there's so much difference. Like, hiring an American, even if you pay him, like, look, here in California, minimum wage $15 an hour. Like, it's so hard for entrepreneurs to hire for $15 an hour. Like, a lot of entrepreneurs, they're barely making enough money to pay the bills, or worse. I mean, there's been months where I've had to whip out the old American Express Platinum and charge $7,500 worth of salary, because I didn't get paid by a client. You know what I'm saying? I had a client, $200,000 a client that canceled on me. And I don't know if you saw that post, but December 29th, they sent me, they called me, and I'm like, dude, these clients never call me. I've been working with them for 3 years. They never call me. And I got a phone call December 29th saying that they reevaluated all their third-party contracts, and I'm on the chopping block, right? Jeez. And we survived the 2017 cuts. That was really tough. because I had to make meetings. I had to do another proposal and stuff. And like, I think we're like one of the only contracts that survived. And it's a huge contract, and it was supposed to be a 2-year contract. So they actually terminated early, and I was okay with it. You know, it hurt.
Yeah.
But losing $200,000 of momentum is like, wow. And that's 10 people on my team that were working directly for that client.
Yeah.
And I had to make some quick decisions and get those people jobs. And guess what? I posted an authentic, genuine post on my Facebook saying, guys, I've got 10 people right now that are literally going to be jobless if I can't figure out what to do with them for 10 days or in 30 days. And I've got this program together on LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you guys what we've been doing for our $200,000 client to do prospecting on LinkedIn so you guys can get new clients. And people are like, sign me up.
Yep. Yeah.
And for 3 days, back-to-back meeting for 3 days, I was able to get all of those guys jobs and replace that $200,000 contract.
That's
so
awesome, man.
It's incredible, guys. And I just want to also say, never underestimate the impact that you make on people on both sides. I get so many requests for jobs every day because my own team brags about working for me, you know?
Yeah.
And that's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. No one wants to work for Joe Schmo who doesn't give a damn about people. They want to work for Elon Musk, Richard Branson, you know, Mark Zuckerberg. They want to, I don't know about Mark after yesterday.
A couple days.
Yeah, it's been a couple days, but seriously, people do have a genuine need to follow people that are truly inspirational and that really have a good mission and purpose. And I feel like the people that aren't making the success in their life are the people that don't have a great mission, that don't have a great purpose, that aren't solving huge problems. I'm able to solve 2 huge problems. Entrepreneurs who never have time for their families, entrepreneurs who don't have enough money to hire people for $15 an hour to do, you know, email checking and remedial stuff. And also, I'm giving amazing jobs all around the world for people that truly deserve to earn more than the Philippines minimum wage in the city, which is $9 a day. Okay. And as an entrepreneur, if you can't hire someone for $3 to $5 an hour, I don't know what you're doing. You have a value problem, right? So
exactly.
I know that was spread out, guys, but man, I just felt like somebody needed to hear that. I just felt like somebody needed to hear that.
I love it, man. And I think there's a few things you pointed out that just to reflect and kind of share with people. One is, if you really have a mission to help people, then people will be attracted to you on both sides. So the thing that I've learned about team building, which you obviously totally understand and very good at too, is if you really care about your team and you take care of them, they will take care of you, and you guys will become a family. And it's like, but that only works if you legitimately, deep down in your heart, want to take care of them. And taking care of somebody starts with the basics. And this is not the whole picture. The basics are make sure they can afford to take Saturday and Sunday off, you know? And one thing that I've gotten in the habit of doing, and this has dramatically increased my results when I go overseas, is I look at the median average income for the country, and then I try to pay 20 or 30 or 40% over that. Because I don't want them to think about anything except for being part of our team, our community, and taking care of our clients. And you cannot do that if you're paying them $1.50 an hour. Will they take it? Yeah. But are you actually serving and taking care of them? No. Yep. So I always look and say, what's the medium income? Also, I'll research their role in the country, and I try to make it upper echelon, because I don't want them to go find somebody else. And like you said, I don't want them to be having to work 2 jobs to work with me. I really want to take care of them. That's
Amen. And you know what the thing is too, is that you have to remember, even especially in the Philippines, like they don't have credit, you know?
Yeah.
It's very very hand to mouth. And actually one of the things that I do for my team now, here's the thing, you can lead a horse to water, right? But you can't make it drink. And, you know, I've put a program together for my team, if they take advantage of it, to actually stash money away. Right? Because the banks are just jokes in the Philippines. The banks are absolutely a monster. Yeah. Like, it actually makes 0 sense to even have a bank account in the Philippines because they charge you so much to use it.
Wow.
So I have a program for my team to where I give them the ability to put away money every month that they can have as a actual savings. I've had a few people take advantage of that. And
Yeah.
it's so huge because, in the Philippines, in the way that their culture is, if there's a death, if there's a sickness, whatever it is, the only option that they have is to go out to their family members and say, hey guys, we have a problem, and they borrow money from everybody.
Yeah.
And think of the stress that causes for people, right? And I'm not a bank, and I don't recommend people to become the bank for their team members, but I can tell you this, I've had a situation on my team where there was a domestic abuse, one of my team members, and she needed to leave quick. And, I had to give 2 or 3 months, basically over her salary to help her relocate and get out of that really bad situation. And if it wasn't for me, I mean, she'd be stuck there,
Yeah.
and it's incredible to think. I have one of my team members. So do you know about what's called the Overseas Foreign Worker Program in the Philippines? Have you heard of that?
No.
It's literally legalized indentured servitude. It's literally slavery.
Wow.
Because the economy is so bad in the Philippines, the Philippines has agreed with these Arab countries, and nothing against Arab countries. I just want to point out that this is just a problem. So I had two of them. One of them's Angie, one of them's Lori, and both of them, except I'm getting emotional, both of them accepted contracts to go overseas and work for these companies in Dubai. These are both in Dubai, to work for them for 2 years. It's like a commitment. It's a contract for 2 years. They have to work for this client. And, both of them were in business and administration type stuff. Well, the first thing they do when they get overseas is they take their passport away. So they can't go back. And what happens is they work them like slaves. They literally work them like slaves all the time. They pay for their own housing and stuff, which guess what? At the end of the day, they get maybe $100 that they're able to send, to keep after all the work that they put in. And the crazy part is it's a disaster to try and get back home. They try and keep them. One of them was threatened, was actually driven. She tried to resign for 2 years. She's tried to quit and come home for 2 years. She was trapped in Dubai for 2 years. Every time she tried to resign, they would do something. And one time they had some military connections. They literally grabbed her, took her out to the desert and said, you have to still work here or you are literally going to be left here in the desert to die. And people don't understand that happens. And, we as entrepreneurs, we have such an awesome opportunity to empower people with really awesome, loving, caring jobs, people that want to do amazing things and they want to be valued. And the only reason they're doing the overseas work is because they don't believe they can actually get a job that makes enough money at home, right? Yeah. Because the only other option is to go work at retail somewhere, what they call it SM, which is the big, shopping center over there. And guess what happens? You go there, you make minimum wage, about $9 a day. And if you don't show up to work one day, they've got a line of 20 people ready to take your job.
Yeah.
It's just tragic, and I know you said you have a team all over the world, but if you can give people really valuable jobs and create a life that they can truly enjoy, then man, think of the power that has,
Oh, it's awesome. And the other thing that I was going to say is like, not only give them the economic means to actually enjoy family time and take care of themselves and do what they should be able to do. On top of that, when you just appreciate them, it's life-changing. Like, and that's life-changing for anybody. This isn't an overseas person. It isn't, it's whoever. It's like, just appreciate the people that you work with, be upfront with them, train them, guide them, lead them, manage them, do your job, but appreciate them as people. And I always tell people on my team, we're 100% for entrepreneurship, and I'm 100% for whatever is best for you, not for me, not for just us. Because if that means you get an offer to make $150,000 a year, I want you to take it. I'm going to miss you, but I want you to take it. If you want to start something on the side, as long as you're not directly competing with our services, then there's a crossover there. But like, if you want to do something on the side, then I'm all for that, because entrepreneurship is what helps us grow and lead and give back to the world. And I'm here to give back. So if I can help you give back, then that's even better. So I mean, I love your approach, and it's so awesome to hear of your success and the team that you have, because that's what people need.
You know what? It's opened up so many doors for me. Just because, I've been blessed. I've seen a whole world of people, of entrepreneurs that I like to call socially conscious entrepreneurs, right? Like, you understand the impact of your business. And, they call me the King of Outsourcing. I got named that on a couple podcasts, and it was funny when I popped my main name. I said, yeah, I'll own that.
Yeah.
When people think of outsourcing, the number one thing they think of is cheap labor. That's the number one thing they think of. And I want to change that definition. I want to be the king of outsourcing. I want to show people how to outsource the right way.
Yeah.
And when I say the right way, I mean doing it right. Do right with your business. Do good with your business. I have the opportunity to hang out with crazy people like Ashton Kutcher, who is doing it the right way. He's made so much of an impact with the different organizations he's doing to fight sex trafficking. I think it's 85% of all transactions in sex trafficking actually occur online. He's started a new initiative of technology, AI, to help combat that and find transactions that are taking place to shut that down, report that. He's doing amazing things, and people don't understand. Like, there's a ton of people that are using their businesses for good. And I posted a video not too long ago. I spoke at a mastermind in San Francisco, and I said, you can make money and do good, right?
Yeah.
Like, as a matter of fact, I want to make as much money as possible so I can make the biggest impact as I can.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I know that me and my money, any money that I have, I'm going to spend it a hell of a lot better than these big corporations and stuff who don't care about their people,
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. And
That's, you know what? That's the advantage. You want to, if you get anything out of this right here, anybody who's listening or watching this right now, we have a huge advantage as entrepreneurs. Huge advantage, because we can make and spend money faster than corporations. We can also make decisions faster than corporations, and we can adapt 150 times faster than corporations, at least. I mean, I just wrote an article not too long ago. Hopefully it gets published on Thrive Global, where I submitted it, but it's called Entrepreneurs and Corporations Need to Adapt. They actually need to be more like each other in opposite ways. Corporations, they have structure, they're organized, they do project management, right? They have good onboarding processes, right? These are things that, me being in the corporate world my entire life, I know, right? And I think that's maybe why I've been able to grow so fast in my entrepreneurial trek, is that most entrepreneurs that I know, they don't have their shit together.
I would agree with that.
I usually try to keep it PG-13 if I get slapped down with a fine on this, whatever. But the FCC's out there. But the truth is, like, I want to make sure that, we have such an awesome opportunity to see the future, right? We can see it. And we can act on it. We don't need, to go through some group change policy, whatever, change policy and stuff like these corporations have to do. Like, you guys see something that's really cool and adapting and coming on quick, you can do it. You can take it. Yep. I wasn't able to hire a virtual assistant at my job. I had to do that outside personally. I couldn't tell anybody about it. I had to hide my virtual assistant.
Yeah.
So you as entrepreneurs, you can hire, you can experiment, you can have fun. You can use my team, you can hire your own. I mean, I recommend, like, the only advantage that I had, the reason why I've grown so fast, is because I just did it, you know? And that's the thing. Like, what separates the entrepreneurs that are successful versus the entrepreneurs that aren't?
The entrepreneurs.
The entrepreneurs do the things that the unsuccessful entrepreneurs won't.
Exactly.
That's it. 100%.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's all about taking action on it and trying it. Because if you're wrong, you can prove that you're wrong way faster by taking action. If you're right, you can prove that you're right way faster by taking action. So you always want to jump in and take action on it.
I'm just going to throw this out there. The comments that are coming in right now are friggin' huge.
Yeah.
Castle says, being a river, not a stagnant pond. Boom. Let's make money and do good. Yes, guys, that's what it's all about. It's about, like, how much money can you make? I tell you guys right now, because there's so many people that live with guilt for making money. Hell no. Make as much money as you can. The more money you make, the more people you can hire, the more impact you can make. Like, that's how I see it. I want to grow my team to 100 by the end of this year, and I've got 50. I've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
It's taken me 5 years to build 50. Okay.
Yep.
But I know people like you, I've learned right now the past year that strategic partnerships are the number one fastest way to grow your entrepreneurial business. If you don't have a partner program, affiliate program, or referral partner program, you're absolutely ridiculous, because if people like you refer me, if I refer people to you, man, that's amazing. But if I can get paid to send people your way, you better believe I'm going to be sending more people your way. Like, yeah, dude, this guy's freaking awesome, right?
That's right.
And you look at the top people that are doing this in this space, and that's the difference. They actually have programs that help people advance their lives by recommending products and services that they already know are awesome, right?
Exactly.
Well, if you don't have an affiliate or partner program, you better get one right now. You don't have one, reach out to me. I'll help you build it myself.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just gonna say, there's a couple great points there. One, if anybody is struggling with outsourcing and bringing somebody in the remote way, then I just highly recommend you get with Jeff and hire him and his people, because two reasons. One, I have done what Jeff has done, and we don't do that as a service, but all of my team is remote. We all work from home around the world. A lot of us in the States, a lot of us overseas, and it takes time to figure out the right way to do that. It's not just like walking into an office, hiring somebody. It's different. There's different barriers and learning curves. And so you can either go spend how many years he's been doing it, or I've been doing it, a few, 3 or 4 or 5.
I mean, technically, I've been doing remote teams for the past 15 years. I mean,
so you can either spend 15 years to figure it out, which is fine, go do it, or it took me 5 years to figure out my way, and I'm nowhere near as good at this as Jeff.
And you know what, Gabe, I want to point this out there, because there's a lot of misconceptions in entrepreneurialism, right? People always say there's no like fast track, there's no elevator to success. Yes, there is. Somebody's already on that elevator. Just ask him for a ride, yo.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I say, so you can
I hate the people that like that's the thing. Like Grant Cardone, don't get me wrong, love Grant Cardone, love Gary, but they're all about the grind. They're like, yeah, you don't know anything. You got to grind. You got to do your work. You got to do whatever. It's like, dude, the path to success, it's already been written. Like, you find the people that have already driven there, they leave tracks. Go follow them. Yes. Look what they're doing. The reason why I've been so successful in social networking, which is ironic, because I literally hated Facebook. And now I'm constantly deleting like 200 friends, whenever I go to an event.
Yep.
I sorry to those of you who are my friends that might've been deleted over the years, but like, no joke. Like, if you're not an active person on my list, and people always like, oh my God, Jeff, all your people engage with this stuff, because they know if they don't, they're gonna get deleted, yo.
Right. Out. I'm working on that too right now.
But that's the thing. Like, if you truly give value, like for me, I looked at greats. Okay, I looked at people like Ty Lopez. People could cap on Ty Lopez all they want. I got to hang out with him. I got to learn the truth about marketing. One of the things that he told me, he said, if you are truly giving value, and you're speaking at an event or something like that, you know what? You know how you know? He says you can tell by the number of people that hold up their cell phones and record you while you're talking.
Yep.
I was like,
totally agree.
Yeah. And lo and behold, on Saturday, a couple weeks ago, matter of fact, Nikos, who just joined right now, is one of those people. I get in Saturday. It was a couple weeks ago at Mastermind, hanging out with people that, multi-millionaires doing huge things, tens of millions of dollars. One of the guys, Zeev, shout out to Zeev if he's watching. He's incredible. He's an Israeli. He has this awesome drone video production company, and he's working like doing all the videos and stuff you see like in most of the movies out there. Like, they're doing all these amazing things, but guess what? They're using their business for good. He's also got a giant drone that he's working right now. And this isn't like a for-profit thing. It's big enough to literally fly into an area that's been destroyed, a building's blown up or whatever, and literally lift someone out. They can do search and recovery with drones and stuff. Like, they're using their businesses for good, right?
That's awesome.
And you know what? When I went up there on Saturday and I was like, I'm going to give you guys some virtual assistant tips, because everyone in the room was like, yeah, I want to have a virtual assistant. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you 3 tips. And I really gave some valuable tips, like stuff that people pay me to tell them. Look around the room, and there's a bunch of cell phones out recording the stuff.
I love it.
And like, you should be setting a bar so high, guys. Do your research. Figure out what people really want. And that's why you might need Gabe Arnold, because if you are truly doing marketing the right way, you need to understand your market, right? Marketing is about the market. if you know, like I know the struggles that you guys deal with right now, I can rattle them off. Why? Because 15 years of experience, I know. You guys are tired of wasting your time. You don't want to waste time hiring someone. You're worried about hiring the wrong people. You're worried that they're not going to know what to do. You're worried that you're not going to be a good leader to show them what you need to do. You probably don't have your shit together in your business to feel like you can actually delegate it out because you don't. The worst thing that you can do right now is hire a virtual assistant. The best thing you can do right now is figure out why you need to hire a virtual assistant. You need to look at your business and determine what it is that's taking you away from your true purpose and passion. You need to figure out how to do the easy part, believe it or not. It's easy to do once you figure it out. All you have to do, guys, is the stuff you're doing all the time that you don't think you can train someone or don't have time to do it. Don't get stuck in that busy trap. I'm too busy to get unbusy. What you need to do is just do recording. Download ScreenFlow, download TinyTake, download all these free apps that record Camtasia, whatever, to record your screen. Do the stuff that you're normally doing, record it, talk about what you're doing, and then give it to someone else and say, can you try this? And do it with them.
Yep.
It is absolutely life-changing. The first taste of freedom that you get, guys. Say, oh my God, I don't have to do that anymore. Oh, it's life-changing.
Were you, I think this was you. It was, because I think we did this at the same time. Did you finally give up your inbox? Was that just a few?
I did.
Isn't that scary?
Guys, after 15 years, I finally got rid of my inbox.
First time, like 6 weeks ago, and now I'm good at it.
It's so weird, though, because we as entrepreneurs, we really hate giving up control.
Yes.
Oh, it's our baby, right? Our business is our baby, and we want to have the pulse on everything, and we want to know everything that's going on. And if you get the right team that cares, right? If you really find someone who genuinely cares about your business, and by the way, there's lots of people out there that would love to care for your business. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a flat out lie. You're telling yourself if you don't think anyone will care about your business. They will. And when you first have that moment of freedom, like when you see that someone's doing something for you, like even today, I messed up. Listen to this. This is something that happened today. Today, I had someone reach out to me who referred me a client, and I thought they were taken care of. And I messed up. I was supposed to introduce this client to one of my copywriters, Jerry, and I forgot to do that. And I messed up because it was actually something I was supposed to do. I'm the bottleneck of my business, guys. Most of you probably feel the same way. You're probably the bottleneck in your business. You're holding it up. So this morning, I sent a screenshot of the email to my team. You know, I didn't even send. I literally said, guys, I totally forgot about this email. Or no, it was a Facebook message. And I said, guys, I totally forgot about this email. It was an action item I was supposed to do, not them, right? And I said, could you guys help me and introduce this client for me on my behalf? And they did. And the project started back up. We're rocking and rolling.
That's awesome.
And to have that type of support system where like I'm literally like waking up. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure I was almost naked about to get in the shower when I sent that message. Sorry, Julio and Lori, for the visual. but it's great. It's and know that you get to do what you actually enjoy to do, what you're most focused on, and what you're passionate about every day. Like Riza May, who just joined, she's actually, her name's Mimi. I've been trying to hire her for 3 years.
Nice.
I finally got her on my team last month. She's been working for me for 1 month now. Shout out to Mimi, because she's absolutely incredible. And she used to be the senior trainer at one of my competitors, Task Us. And I've been trying to recruit her for 3 years. Her dad and I are partners. He owns the building that I rent in that I lease out in Makati City. And
nice.
I've been trying to get her to work for me. Hi. Her dad is Robert DeCastro, and that's Riza May DeCastro. But no joke, like getting the right people on your team, like she's literally in my office now. She's training my team. She's helping them with customer support. Her English is friggin' superb. If you guys don't even understand the skill level and talents in the Philippines, they love American movies. Yep. They love American culture. You've never seen as many American flag t-shirts as walking around downtown Manila. Nice. It's a culture fit. And this is something that I am actually doing a video series on. I haven't released it yet, but there's the 3 C's. I call them the 3 C's, things that you need to develop for yourself before you hire a virtual assistant, right? These are qualities that you need to have in your business that you need to focus on before you hire someone. The first one, and probably the most important, is culture. Does the person you're about to bring into your team have the right culture fit? Because culture is everything. And as a CEO, as a business builder, you have one responsibility, guys: culture of your business. I'm sorry. I don't care if you think it's your project management, if you think it's whatever it is. It's about your culture. You need to build a team that's really good and that fits well and meshes well. Okay. The second thing is you need to make sure that you and the person you're hiring are competent at your jobs. Okay. So competency is about what are they able to do. So when you're trying to hire somebody, if you're crazy enough to hire someone yourself, have a list of questions ready for that skill set. For example, if you're hiring a social media manager, you should probably have some questions about Buffer, Hootsuite, whatever prepared, and see what they're doing, or give them some test questions like, okay, look, I've got a new client, and for you, I want to make this geared towards you. I want to give you value. You're hiring a new copywriter who's going to be doing social media for people. You probably should ask them questions about marketing. You should probably ask them questions about a campaign. Say, hey, look, I got a new client. They own a chiropractic and they're trying to get more clients in the door. You're like, what are some ideas? What are some articles or some topics you think that would be useful for them for you to write about that could bring in more business into the doors, right? Like, that's a very pointed question.
Right.
Okay. The third thing is communication. You have to have a communication plan.
Yeah.
Of all the VAs that I talk to that come to me, they're literally leaving their clients in droves to come work for me. It's because their client doesn't communicate with them.
Yep.
I've got a girl right now. Her name's Eileen. She's been working with me. She's a woman, okay, but she's a fantastic person. She has kids. She lives in a province. She's been working with me longer than Redora, I think 5 years now.
Wow.
And she had an Australian client for 4 years. I mean, think about that. 9 years as a VA? Dude, that's unheard of, okay? Like, the internet in the Philippines wasn't even great 9 years ago. I can't even imagine what it was like, you know?
Yeah.
But she came to me because she said she didn't have a relationship with her boss, that they never spoke to her. They just gave her emails and said, here's what to do. And she really wanted to be a part of a team. And we have an awesome, opportunity to say, look, I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to give you your needs. And it's about the needs of the people that you have and how to really give them what they truly need. And I think that was the point that you hit on in the very beginning. And it's funny that we're circling back to it now, is that if you can truly offer value of what people truly need, you're going to have team members that work for you for life. Redora, she's already told me, even if my business closes down tomorrow, she's still going to be my VA. So just plan on it.
Nice. Yeah. No, I think it's all amazing stuff. And I think you hit on some great stuff about, like, if you don't know your own process, then you have no business bringing somebody else into your chaos. So I totally agree with that. This has been absolutely awesome, Jeff. I love what you're sharing. And like I said, let me wrap up with a few thoughts for people so that they can get the most value out of this. One, go listen to this again, because there's a bunch of stuff that I'm not going to recap that you should listen to again. But two, don't think that you need to create everything yourself. It's such a myth. And I would totally agree with what Jeff said earlier. And I posted about this the other day. Don't listen to what the gurus say. Pay attention to what they do. And because you actually just need...
Oh, damn. That was awesome. Do not listen to what they say. Look at what they do. Wow.
Yes. Because I'm on the same page. Like, I have all the respect in the world for Grant Cardone and Gary Vee and that style of guy. But I basically don't listen to a single thing they say, and I watch what they do. So that's one thing. But number two, don't be an idiot and do this all on your own. Even if you only hire Jeff and his team for like 6 months or a year, and then you feel like, I really need to take this in-house, that's all well and good. But don't think you need to do it on your own. Have somebody that's an expert, a real expert, not I just became a coach yesterday kind of person.
Trust me, I'm a life coach.
Let's not go there today. And then have somebody show you the right way. And then it's going to be so much easier, because you can do it the right way. You can treat your people right. You can grow your company, and you can go make all your millions of dollars and actually change the world. And that's what we're here to do. And then the other thing I just want to touch on, because you talked about this, and I'm going to see if people can see this. This will be interesting. I've never tried this before. But we have the circle of life here at our team. Is that?
I like this. Let me zoom that in. Let me see.
I don't know if everybody can see it. I'll post it in the comments later. But on the top is we protect our company. This is the decision-making framework for everybody on our team, and everybody that's listening should use this because it will make your life better. When we're making decisions here, because I empower everybody to make as many decisions as they can. There's literally only a few things I decide because that gives me brain space, gives me creativity. It lets me be a real CEO, which is building culture, like Jeff said. So number one, when you make a decision here on our team, does this protect the company? Why? Because with no company, we have no team, we have no jobs, we have no clients.
Boom.
So we are always profitable. We are proactive in doing what's best for our company because this is our organizations, this is our family, this is our team. Then we've qualified that it's a safe decision for our company. Then we qualify, is this a safe decision for an individual team member and the team? So as much as I would just give raises every day, I tell my team this all the time, but if we did that, I would hurt the company and the team because we would run out of money. I love giving away money, but I have to let my financial controller do that for me. So
you're 100% correct, Yeah. And,
like protects the company, protects the profit. And then because we've protected the company, we've protected the team, we've gone through those two layers of the decision. Now we make sure we're protecting our client. And guess what? It's the circle of life. Our clients pay the company and then we pay you, everything like that. So that is our decision-making framework. And that's how you have to view your decisions, from pricing to who to hire, to which clients to hire or fire, to investing in something you should or shouldn't. If you make it in that order, then life will be better. It may not be perfect, but it'll be a lot better.
Wow. You have just dropped the biggest bomb, because you know what? That's one of the things that I get really worried about as an entrepreneur is that, like, there's a weird fine balance, guys, around, pay for your team, because I'd love to double the salaries of my team. Matter of fact, I have a plan right now to double the salary of my team. And to do that, I have to do more package-based pricing. I can't be on the hourly, because if I'm hiring someone for $3 to $5 and I'm charging $8, like I'm only going to make, $3 an hour, and it's hard to run a business on that. Right. Mm-hmm. And actually that's one of the good things that came out of my biggest client firing me, was that my margins were really low. Even though they were hiring, 10 people of mine, I gave them such a discount because that I wanted to win the contract, that it wasn't scalable. And, some of the hardest lessons as an entrepreneur I learned the hard way. Right. But in all reality, I think that something that is really important here is that when it comes to valuing your team and how much to pay your team, I think you just hit on something huge. It's all about the value that they can bring. Right. And it's about, okay, like whenever someone comes to me for a raise, because that happens all the time, by the way, is I say, okay, great. Let's talk about what you're doing now and how we can help you get to what you want to earn. Right. Because right now you're making this much and this is what I can price you at. And if you want to make this much, well, then you have to raise your expectations on what the value that you can bring on. And see, I like to put the onus on people because, look, ownership is key. Accountability is key, because at the end of the day, when things go wrong, even for me, if a virtual assistant messes up, take a guess who's in trouble. Not my VA. You. I am. The company's at fault, right? Yep. Your circle of life is perfect because you got to protect the company. You got to protect the team, and you got to protect the clients. Like what you just said right there, like, dude, we got to talk more about that too, because I think that's huge. We can turn that into a freaking series.
I think so.
That's the one thing that I keep seeing over and over and over, is that people want to do big things. They want to build teams like ours, but they don't know how. So what happens is it causes paralysis. When you don't know how to do something, you just don't do it.
Yeah.
So I want to put together something, and that's why I'm releasing my video series coming out here, the 3 C's, because I want to make an easy step. Like, okay, I know how to do this now. Let's do this. Yeah. You know what? Remember earlier when I said, don't underestimate the impact you have on people? I posted a freaking 2-minute video of my son's first time riding a bicycle. I don't know if you saw that. But
I didn't. So.
all I did, you know what I did? I thought back to how my dad did it for me. And ironically, at 3 or 4 years old, whatever it was, I can still remember that. It's weird.
That's
It was
cool.
traumatic, but you know, like my dad literally went to a park and pushed me down a hill on a bike.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then I was like, in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, I don't want to do that. But right down the street from my house is a park that's one of those water, you know, like flood area things. So it does have a little bit of a hill. It's not a huge hill. And I was like, you know what? That actually might not be a bad idea. So I kind of pushed him a little bit in the street and put all the elbow pads and stuff so I could make sure that he had balance. And I said, okay, look, you don't have to worry about pedaling. All you have to do is push this bike. Or I'm just going to give you a little push and you're going to go down. You're just going to steer down. And then when you get down to the bottom, you have to keep pedaling. Otherwise you're going to fall. And he's like, oh my God. Right. And then I pushed him down. He was like, oh yeah, dude, this is fun. And then he gets to the bottom and then he finds out, the bike's slowing down. Right. So then I kept saying, I'm like, dude, you got to pedal. Otherwise. So he kept doing it over and over and he kept pedaling at the bottom. He kept trying to get further. And then he was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to see if I can go to the other side. I'm like, no, you don't. Right. He doesn't know how to stop yet. So ironically, the second day I took him back out and I said, okay, look, I knew he liked going down the hill. So as a reward, I said, look, today you're going to learn how to go around circles. And then when you can do a full circle by yourself, we're going to go down the hill. So gave him, here's the value that I have to bring before I can do that.
I love it.
One of my wife's family friends that worked with her for years has a 7-year-old daughter who was struggling riding her bike, saw the video of my son riding the bike and how he was doing it, asked her mom to take the training wheels off, and guess what? Went down a hill. And she was like, okay. And so that same day, she said, I can't believe it. We've been trying to get her to ride a bike for years. And now she watched the video of your son who's 5 and says, well, hell, if he can do it. And she went and did it.
It's so amazing.
Isn't that crazy? Like, never underestimate the power that you have on other people. Never underestimate the influence that you have on people. We are our own pastors, man. Like, we're spreading the message, whether you're a religious person or not, whatever your message is, that's what's being said. And you are living by example. And, like, that's why I try every single day, anytime someone wants me to come on their show, whatever, I'm going to try and make every best effort that I can. My schedule is pretty tight, but I will try to make as much effort as I can to come, because I know it gives me an opportunity to hopefully empower somebody, to hopefully influence somebody, to hopefully change the direction that somebody's going, or at least give them a little bit of a push down that hill. Yeah.
Wow. Awesome. And what you touched on, and I'm going to throw this on and we're going to close it off before we just go on all night. All afternoon.
I feel like brothers, man. Like,
I know.
We have so much in common, and not just because of the bald heads.
We're doing more of that. You're coming back soon. But you just touched on the reason that your son's friend learned is because peer influence outweighs everything.
Boom.
Especially at that age. But even at our age, the reason that, like I was saying earlier, like, just get with Jeff and let him do it for you for a while, and then you can go do your own thing, is because you will instantaneously, comparatively, absorb all the knowledge and do it right as to trying to do it on your own. So, but awesome. So we're going to wrap it up before we just hang out the entire afternoon. We will probably do an entire afternoon hangout if we can jam our schedules together someday. But definitely check out vastaffer.com. It's pinned in the live here. I'm going to include it in the show notes when this goes live on iTunes and all that good stuff. And thank you so much, Jeff. This is absolutely amazing. So I appreciate you being on.
And if they're interested, if you go to my website, jeffjhunter.com, I also put together, I think it's like an hour, maybe an hour and a half training that they can check out that basically shows them, what I did wrong, and hopefully can help them guide in the direction. I even talk about how I train my team. So, for me, I want to give you guys as much opportunity as possible. Like I said, I want to own the King of Outsourcing. I want to change the way people see outsourcing. It's a great way for you to leverage people to get more done, and at the same time provide awesome value to the people that are helping you. So do that. That's my definition of outsourcing, is to help people help you. Boom.
Yeah, I love it. Cool. So, well, thank you so much for being on, Jeff. I really appreciate it. We'll check in for a second here after we wrap up. But everybody, thanks for tuning in, and This has been absolutely a blast. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Today's Business Leaders with Gabe Arnold. Remember to subscribe on iTunes. For more information, visit todaysbusinessleaders.com.